I think I ain't got it.
You've got to relax your fingers. See? Try it again. You're too tense.
Yeah, I wanted to do it for the kids next week.
Well, don't worry. If you can't do it, you'll have your trusty assistant Jimbo by your side.
I am counting on you for that. Oh, listen, don't forget to bring the medallion, too. Yeah, the Magic Citadel, the Magician of the Future. That makes it official.
I'll have it with me. I wear it every day. Wouldn't they laugh if they knew that their Magician of the Future was a janitor?
Listen, you're the best there is, Jim, and we appreciate it.
The good thing about a job like mine, at least I get to go home the minute I finish a long night's work.
Hey, I'm out of here in a few minutes. I'm just waiting for the next ray to come down. Go home and get some sleep.
Well, actually, I'm going to hit the beach, do a little surfing. It's a beautiful morning to get in the water, and it beats going home to an empty house.
You know, Jim, I'm surprised you didn't get married. I think the girls will be lined up around the block.
Oh, thanks. Never met Ms. Wright, I guess. Well, keep on working on Miser's Dream, and after you master that, I'll teach you the floating ball of flame.
The floating ball of flame?
Don't worry. It's not as dangerous as it sounds.
Hey.
Have I told you lately that I have the most beautiful wife in the world?
Hey, buddy, he'll be back.
Oh, I've already got a cramp.
Oh, just relax, will you?
Dad, you know I hate this. Hurry up, will you? It's cramped. And dark.
Okay.
Come on, Dad.
No, it's all right. The chain and the lock are rigged. They just pop right off.
Dad?
Yeah, that's funny.
Dad, this isn't
But
funny.
hang on, we need a little oil.
Hey!
I'm getting the keys.
Get me out of here. Dad! Help!
Wait a minute, I gotta
Let
get
me out.
Hold on. I
Dad,
got to
please.
all right.
Dad! Get me out of here! Help!
Just hang on.
Dad! Dad, please!
Amanda, the janitor, Jim Briggs, he just brought his body into the morgue.
Oh, my God.
They found him washed ashore near Sunset Cove around 11 a.m. I guess he was pretty banged up.
I can't believe it. He was so full of life.
Maybe he still is.
Jim?
Oh, no, I can see where you'd make that mistake. I'm Jeff Briggs, Jim's twin brother. I was asked to come down here and identify his body. You're Dr. Bentley?
He's been in the water for approximately 2 days. There's a large gash in the back of his skull. We're assuming that he was hit in the back of the head with his own surfboard, rendering him unconscious, and he drowned.
Surfboard? What, Jim surfed?
You didn't know? Mark, Steve. This is Jeff, Jim's twin brother.
Mark. Dr. Mark Sloan? My brother speaks so highly of you. I'm sorry, spoke.
Well, this is Steve Sloan, my son with the LAPD. Excuse me for staring, but it's amazing. You two...
I know. I'm used to the reaction. It's happened all our lives.
This must be a terrible shock for you.
Well, to be honest, I hadn't spoken to my brother in a while. We kind of had a falling out. It's strange. Losing a brother is hard, but when you lose your twin, it's like looking at your own death.
I wonder if I could ask you a few questions, Mr. Briggs, about your brother.
Sure.
Please, take a seat. Coffee?
Yes, please, black. Jim was what you would call a wannabe. Anything I did, Jim would try to copy. I invest in the stock market, did great. Jim invests, loses everything. I start my own successful music management company. Jim decides he wants to be a rock singer. He can't even get a gig at the Holiday Inn. And now apparently he took up surfing, gets himself killed.
You're a surfer?
As soon as I could walk. I use one of those old wooden boards. Picked that up at a swap meet, and you can't find those anymore.
Where do you surf?
Oh, Zuma, the Rincon, Point Malibu probably has the best waves.
Point Malibu.
Where did they find Jim? Oh, don't tell me. I don't want to know. Look, 3 years ago, Jim came to me and said he needed to borrow $12,000 to cover some gambling debts. I'd already loaned him close to 30. He said if I didn't help him out, some goons were going to chop off his legs at the knees. I said no. He walked out of my life. It's funny. On the slab in there, I noticed. He still had his legs.
Excuse me. Sloan here. All right, I'll be right there.
We ran a check on the plates. It belongs to Jim Briggs.
It's time coded. 7:30 a.m. Tuesday. It's been here 2 days. Where'd you say the body washed up?
Right over there, about 100 yards down the beach.
You sure?
I was the first detective on the scene.
Yeah, Dad, it's Steve. I think we got a problem.
$5:45.
Something wrong?
I guess you were so busy you forgot we were playing tennis at 5:30?
Oh my gosh, Dina, I completely skipped my mind. I'm sorry.
Well, hurry up and go get changed before we lose the sun.
I've got a better idea, and doesn't matter if we lose the sun.
I agree. This is a much better idea. Just be a minute.
Talking was last week, when I told you about the problem, Jeff.
Asia, please, I'll fix it, okay?
Damn straight you'll fix it. Or you can kiss this multi-platinum booty goodbye.
Hey, you okay?
Better get me Harvey Atkins on the line. Asia wants to reschedule some concert dates.
Right away. And there's a Dr. Sloan here to see you. Says it's something about your brother. Should I tell him to come back another time?
No. You can show him in.
Okay.
Was that Asia?
Oh, I'm afraid so. Well, what can I do for you, Dr. Sloan?
I was going through Jim's locker at the hospital, and I found this. I thought maybe you'd like to have it.
I'm not really interested in magic tricks.
Well, I would thought maybe just for the sentimental value.
You keep it. Or give it to one of the children at the hospital. Excuse me, I have some pressing business.
Oh, yeah, I understand. There's one problem maybe you could help me with before I go.
A problem?
Yeah, it has to do with ocean currents, at least as I understand it. Now, here's the California coastline north of Sunset Cove. Now, here's where Jim's car was parked, and here's where his body was found washed ashore. There's about 100 yards there.
Dr. Sloan.
Now, the ocean currents of Sunset Cove flow northward, see?
No, I don't really.
Well, see, it took 2 days for Jim's body to wash ashore. Now, if the currents are flowing northward here, it would have been impossible for his body to wash ashore so close to where his car was parked. It should have been way up here, at least.
Well, maybe he surfed at Sunset Cove for a while and then saw that the waves were better down south and paddled down there.
You mean like down around here?
Exactly.
Yeah. That'd be Malibu, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I understand that's your favorite surfing spot.
Who told you that?
Your wife. She said you were out surfing the morning that Jim drowned.
When did you speak to Dina?
Oh, about an hour ago. I had to find out your work address. She was very helpful.
Ah.
She said that you went out that morning around 8 a.m. Now, the parking ticket on Jim's Jeep was time-coded, and it said he parked there at around 7:30 a.m.
No kidding. Gee, I wish I had seen him. Then maybe I could have saved him from drowning. But then again, with all the eddies and currents along the coast, it'd be pretty difficult to say where Jim drowned, wouldn't it?
So what did you think you were going to find out?
Oh, you know, when Steve told me about that parking lot ticket, something does not add up there. Okay, get in the box.
I love you, Mark, but I'm not getting into the box.
Come on, man, it's for the kids.
I'm not getting in the box.
Look, Jim can't do it. He was going to.
I hate when you make me feel guilty. All right, I'm going to do it. I won't like doing it, but I'm going to do it.
It's going to be fun. Oh, sorry. Okay, listen, you better take the necklace off. Well, I had an assistant wore a beautiful necklace. It got caught on one of those levers.
What?
Oh, just give me the necklace. The Magic Citadel.
Excuse me?
Listen, Amanda, Jim had an amulet around his neck on a chain the day he died. You remember it was on him when they brought him in?
Yeah, all of the personal effects were returned to the next of kin along with the body. Now, the autopsy photographs here. See, he was definitely wearing the amulet. What, you seem disappointed?
Well, you know, it's crazy. I guess I keep thinking that maybe it isn't Jim who's dead, that maybe it was his brother. And if the two of them look so much alike, it's hard to believe that the person we're talking to isn't Jim.
You know, my foster mother has twin sisters, and to this day, I'm never quite sure which one I'm talking to.
But he's got the amulet on. It has to be Jim. You know, I never noticed this before. Those bumps on his knees and the tops of his feet.
Surfers' knots. Surfers get them all the time when they're kneeling on their surfboards paddling out to the ocean.
Yeah, I know Steve has them, too. But the thing is, you've got to surf for a lot of years before they develop anything like that. Jim said he'd only been surfing a couple of months.
Well, maybe he was being modest. Maybe he developed them quicker than most people.
Yeah, maybe we're looking at a homicide. Maybe Jim killed his brother and stepped into his life.
It's the end of the phone list.
Thanks.
Jeff, is something wrong?
No, of course not. Why do you ask that?
Well, I mean, you haven't touched me all week. I mean, did I say something or do something? Could you please be honest with me? What did I do?
No, not a thing. Everything's okay. I've had a lot on my mind.
Thank God. Okay, because I was worried you were going to cancel our romantic getaway to Santa Barbara this weekend.
This weekend?
Oh, you did not forget. You promised me.
No, I didn't forget. Of course not. I've been looking forward to it all week.
Sorry to bother you like this. Actually, I was hoping to speak to your husband.
Well, he's at work. What can I help you with, Lieutenant?
Well, this is kind of embarrassing, but you see, my father,
Your father? What does he have to do with this?
well, he's a consultant with the police department. Now, to tell you the truth, that's just an honorary title, but once in a while he gets a crazy idea in his head and he just won't let it go. I hate to even ask you this, but has your husband been acting unusual at all lately?
Unusual.
Like, has he been acting differently? His moods, his habits? Does he seem like a different person?
No.
I didn't think so. See, my dad's got this idea that your husband Jeff is, well, actually his twin brother Jim.
What? That is funny. That is funny, Lieutenant. Thank you. It's been a rough couple of days, and I needed a good laugh.
Right.
Can I fix you something? Drink? Or...
No, thank you.
Well, you can tell your father that woman would know her husband wasn't really her husband, if you know what I mean.
I've been trying to tell him that. I was really hoping your husband would be home.
Listen, Lieutenant, if you think something strange is going on, maybe I can help. Jeff just bought a bottle of scotch last week, and he's the only one in this house who ever drinks that stuff. So why don't you take it? It's on the bar. His fingerprints must be all over it. Must be some way we could check that, right?
Thank you.
Sure, I can't get you a drink.
No, thanks. Bye.
The police were here?
Just thought you might like to know.
Oh, I am not going to stand for this anymore. I am going down to the precinct first thing in the morning to lodge a complaint. To accuse me of being my dead brother, it's ridiculous.
You know what they wanted? They wanted your fingerprints.
Excuse me?
Oh, you don't have to worry. I gave them a bottle Jeff bought last week. And that's whose fingerprints they're gonna get. Jim. Did you really think you could fool me?
How long have you known?
What, that you killed your twin brother and took his place? Since the first day.
Why didn't you blow the whistle?
Jeff wasn't a very nice man, you know that.
I guess I thought...
What, that he treated me better than he treated you? Well, he didn't. Lately it had been so bad I decided to file for a divorce. In fact, I had an appointment with the lawyer the day you came home from the beach and kissed me. First I was curious to see what you were up to, and then after the first couple days, I realized after all these years I've been married to the wrong brother.
I thought you were being so terrific to me because you thought I was him.
I do have to ask you, though.
Why? I didn't want to kill him, but... I mean, all the bad stuff between us, that was in the past. But I owed some people some money, and they were going to get it one way or another.
What, more gambling debts?
I thought of killing myself, but I didn't have the courage, so... I killed Jeff and took over his life.
You just have to move on from here. With no regrets. And no more gambling.
No, believe me, that's over, dead and buried. The only thing I have to worry about is Dr. Sloan. I thought of every angle.
Jim, let's be honest. You're sweeter than your brother, and you are much sexier, but Jeff was the smarter of you two.
What, you're saying that he could have pulled this off?
No, what I'm saying is that between us, we can pull this off.
And we roll it, and we roll it, until it gets nice and soft and warm, and there it is in one of my joints. And there it is in the pantry in the vestry. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce you to the famous Chinese vanishing bag. You notice it's empty, totally empty inside and out. We take this beautiful Singapore silk, we put it in the bag like that. And then I simply say the magic words, sim salabim ala la bala. And out it comes, there it is. However. Thank you very, very kindly. Thank you. Thank you kindly. And now here's some flowers for the beautiful young lady. Excuse me. There. Will wonders never cease. The man is an absolute wizard. A cornucopia of magic tricks, a montage of the most colorful magic tricks ever done by a wizard you've ever seen in your life. Ladies and gentlemen, and boys and girls, now my most famous trick to baffle and mystify you, conceived by the great Merlin the Magician from the days of King Arthur's court, and taught to me by that master prestidigitator, the great Majawambi of Calcutta. Now my assistant, Alexo, will get into the magic box, from which there is no escape and which leads to unknown worlds. Alexo, will you get into my box, please? Keep your eye on the red silk. It'll be seen later. Into the box he goes. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you see before you a chain of forged stainless steel, unbreakable by the world's strongest men. We're going to lock Mr. Alexo inside the box. Everything all right in there so far, Alexo? Yeah, I heard him say yes. He has not yet gone off to other worlds. And now, we seal his doom with the final lock. Alexo is now trapped. He cannot escape from the box. Or can he? First of all, we have to say the magic words. Halabalala, simsalabim, hamana hamana. And I take out the magic key and open the box. And simsalabim. I invite the audience to come up and check. Alexo is gone. Where, we don't know. Somewhere in the stratosphere. Fine.
Sorry, Dad, I didn't realize.
That's okay. What's up?
The fingerprint report came back. The prints belonged to Jeff.
Oh, I thought sure I was onto something. Well, how are we going to bring Alexo back? Shall we say the magic words once again? Halabalala, simsalabim, hamana hamana. And presto changeo.
Sorry, Dad. I don't think he's coming back.
Well, guess we can't cut him in half, can we? I know. I'll cut Police Lieutenant Steve in half. Right over here, Steve. You don't mind being cut in half, do you?
What is the matter? Maybe he hasn't told you, but this is the same way I got him to marry me.
You know what? It's probably a good thing that she's here. Go ahead, Jeff. Tell her how you feel about her. Tell her the truth. Tell her.
You sure that's what you want?
Mm-hmm.
I love her beyond all reason, and I'm the luckiest man in the world that she would even consider loving me.
You son of a...
Terry, I tried to tell you, but you wouldn't listen.
You're going to be so sorry for this! Oh.
I think I'm going to need another secretary.
We could have just gone on to the next trick. You don't do something to somebody like sawing him in half without rehearsing it.
It worked fine when he rehearsed it with me.
He rehearsed it with you?
Only once, but it seemed pretty basic.
Man, if you thought it was so basic, how come you took a powder?
Hey, look at the bright side. At least you're already at the hospital.
We're closed.
Steve, it's Amanda.
Amanda? What are you doing here so late?
I need to tell you about the will.
What will?
Hey, Alex. Mark had a hunch, so he asked me to snoop around and see what I could find out about Jeff Briggs' will. Oh, I heard about your accident. I'm so sorry, but how did he talk you into letting him saw you in half?
Oh, probably the same way he talked you into snooping into Jeff Briggs' will. What'd you find out?
Jeff Briggs had 2 sons from a previous marriage. The divorce settlement stipulated that he give 1/3 of his estate to each of his boys.
Yeah, but you only leave an estate if you're dead. Jeff Briggs is alive.
Yes, but as Mark pointed out, if he were dead, it would give Dina all the more reason to lie and say that Jim was her husband.
He's right. Doesn't make up for the sawing in half trick, but he's right about this.
If it's any consolation, Mark is not happy about this. He doesn't like the idea of his friend Jim being a murderer any more than he likes the idea of him being dead.
Even so, I know my dad. He'll want to know the truth no matter what.
Asia.
We changed every date but one.
Oakland on the 22nd, which is right in the middle of my Acapulco vacation.
Asia, if you change that Oakland date, you're liable for twice the capacity of the entire stadium. Not us, not the insurance company, you.
Who agreed to something stupid like that?
You and your lawyer. It comes to approximately $500,000. The promoter won't budge. Plus, he's threatening to sue you for personal damages if you postpone. So, what we've done...
I don't care what you've done.
We have arranged for a private jet to pick you up and fly you to Oakland that morning. Directly after the performance, it'll be standing by to fly you right back to Mexico. Or if you prefer, you can stay at the presidential suite at the Four Seasons and fly back the next morning. It's your choice. $500,000 plus a lawsuit, or a one-day break in your holiday.
I want a private chef. On the plane and on the ground.
It's already been arranged.
My hairdresser's gonna have to come.
Booked her this morning. She'll meet you on the plane.
Didn't you used to be a secretary here?
She's my partner now.
Huh. Maybe you're not as dumb as I thought you were. From now on, I only want to work with you.
You are terrific.
Oh, I'm sorry, there was nobody at the secretary's desk, and I heard voices back here.
I hope you've come to return my bottle of scotch.
As a matter of fact, I have. And while I was here, I thought I'd get another set of fingerprints. It's not too much trouble.
I don't have to put up with this nonsense. If you want another set of prints, you're going to have to get a warrant.
A warrant? Yeah, I guess you're right. Well, wait a minute. Here's one right here. Left hand or right hand? Ah, heck, let's get them both.
Forget it, Jim. It's over. He's got us.
What are you talking about?
Congratulations, Lieutenant. You're right. This is Jeff's brother, Jim.
I guess I won't be needing those fingerprints after all.
Dina.
Jim Briggs, I'm placing you under arrest for the murder of your brother, Jeff.
What makes you think that? Jim didn't kill Jeff.
You said...
I said this is Jim. As far as I know, Jeff's death was an accident. Jim had nothing to do with it. All I said was that Jim was impersonating Jeff. I didn't say he committed a murder.
You're gonna have to do a little better than that, Mrs. Briggs.
Look, Jeff and I have been having problems for a long time. It all came to a head when I discovered he was carrying on with his secretary. We had a huge fight about it. Finally, he just walked out. I just figured that he was at a hotel or with her.
That's exactly what she told me the morning I went to see her. The day you found Jeff's body.
Why did you go see her?
I needed money. I knew Jeff wouldn't lend me anymore, and his car wasn't in the driveway, and Dina's always been a soft touch. Don't look at me like that, Lieutenant. Gambling is an addiction. I'm not proud of it.
I gave him some breakfast. He was still eating when the call came, asking Jeff to come and identify the body that you thought was Jim. I knew right away what happened. I just talked him into impersonating his brother.
You knew about Jeff's will.
It wasn't the money. Jeff's sons can have the money. They can have the house. They can have the business for all I care. You know, Jim says that I'm a soft touch, and that's true. Do you know why, Lieutenant? It's because I love him. I have always, always loved him. The only reason Jeff married me was to take me away from Jim. I didn't know that at the time. I thought that Jeff was as kind and loving and thoughtful as Jim, but he wasn't. By the time I found that out, it was too late. So when Jeff had his accident, I just figured it was fate. Stepped in and changed both our lives.
You know, that still doesn't explain why they had to pretend that he was Jeff. You know, if they loved each other so much, why didn't they just tell the truth and go get married?
Yeah, she said she didn't think they were hurting anybody. But since we found out she's willing to give all the money up, she sounded sincere.
I hope she is. Because I intend to do everything in my power to give her the life she deserves. I had to come back here to fill out some final paperwork for the hospital. I thought I should come here and see you, too.
I don't know exactly what to say to you, Jim.
I know I've disappointed you, Dr. Sloan.
Disappoints putting it mildly.
Well, please, let me try to explain. It's true, I've always envied my brother. I always thought that if I could just catch a break, I could be as big a success as he was. I thought it would never come. Well, this is my big break, Dr. Sloan. You understand that, don't you?
No, I'm afraid I don't.
I'm sorry to hear that. Our friendship always meant a lot to me.
You haven't found Jeff's surfboard yet, have you?
No, why?
According to the autopsy, he was killed by a blunt object, blow to the head. Now, if that was the surfboard, it might have some fingerprints on it.
We still have to find it.
Yeah. If you don't find something soon, Jim's going to get away with murder.
there's still a cop out there watching us.
Oh, they can't keep it up forever.
What do they expect us to do? Make a run for it?
You know, they're just trying to make us nervous. Let's just put it out of your mind, huh? We've got a business to run, right? Okay.
How's my time?
You're learning.
Dina, I couldn't have done this without you. You know that.
I couldn't have done it without you. And I don't think either of us should ever forget that.
You canvass everyone?
Every surfer I could find. Still no witnesses. Still no surfboard. Hey, is it true what I heard? The DA's office won't even prosecute him for fraud? I mean, they were keeping money from their rightful heirs.
That's barely been a week. Besides, they never filed a claim. DA says he'd never get a conviction. Yeah, he's probably right. Thanks. I'm sorry I wasted your time.
No problem. Wish I could have turned something up.
Amanda.
Hey.
You seen my dad?
Yeah, he has his infectious disease class today. What's up?
I think we may have gotten our break.
You found the surfboard.
Better, I found a mistake. A big one.
This is bordering on harassment, Lieutenant. We're trying to run a business here, and you keep interfering with our lives.
We haven't done anything illegal. Why don't you just leave us alone?
Sorry to call you down here like this, but sometimes questions pop up and we need answers. I'll try and make this fast.
What do you want to know?
You told me you didn't know that Jeff had been dead for 2 days.
That's right. We found out when we got the call from the hospital.
Well, maybe you can explain why we found Jim's beat-up Jeep in the parking lot at Sunset Cove.
I don't understand.
Well, if Jeff did die in his usual surfing spot, the Point Malibu, and then the current took his body up the coast to Sunset Cove, why was Jim's Jeep parked there instead of Jeff's SUV?
It's really very simple. See, once we realized what had happened, we picked up the SUV and left the Jeep instead. We figured that's where the body was found, so that's where the Jeep should be.
We thought that was the logical place. Of course, we didn't know about all that tidal action before we screwed up, that's all.
I can understand that. Maybe you can explain this for me, too. If you didn't park the Jeep at Sunset Cove until 2 days after Jeff's death, why was the parking lot ticket that we found underneath your windshield wiper time-stamped for the morning of the murder?
That was my idea. See, all county parking tickets look the same, so when we picked up Jeff's SUV at the parking lot down the coast, I slipped the parking ticket underneath the windshield wiper of Jim's Jeep. I guess we just made a mess of everything. Is that all?
You think you've got your bases all covered, don't you?
There are no bases to cover, Lieutenant. Can we please leave?
What the hell are you doing
May I
here?
come in?
Dina will be back in a minute.
No, she won't. I just saw her drive off, and we have some things to discuss.
Look, I can't get you your job back. I'm sorry.
I didn't come here begging for my job. I know you can't do a damn thing about that. Because you're not Jeff.
Oh, if you come here to blackmail me, you're too late. The police already know who I am, and it's not a crime to impersonate somebody. So,
I don't, but do the police know that you started impersonating Jeff before anyone even knew he was dead? Yeah, remember? You came into the office 2 days before his body was found.
you're out of your mind.
Oh, no, I'm not. It's a simple phone call. 3 little numbers. You know what? I'm sure that someone at 911 will connect me with the Malibu police station when I tell them I'm reporting a murder. Want to find out?
Consuela? Consuela, would you come in here a minute, please?
Hey, what are you doing?
Exactly what you're doing. Consuela, you know Senora Deegan. I want you to remember that she came here today. She wants to extort money from me. You want to make your phone call now? Because nobody would ever believe you.
I'm sorry, Dr. Sloan. I really thought I had him there for a minute. But he said just what you said, that no one would believe my testimony.
Not your fault, Miss Deegan. It was worth a try. If he would have tried to make any kind of a deal with you, it would have been the first step in proving that he murdered his brother.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. Over the years, I saw Jim come by the office maybe 5-6 times. And Jeff would always refer to him as his stupid brother. I'm starting to think that Jeff underestimated him.
Oh, I think we all did.
Yeah.
Miss Deegan, thank you very, very much. Look, if you think of anything else at all, you can call me right here at the hospital.
Okay.
If I'm not in, call me on my cell phone. Something the matter?
Come to think of it, I do remember something else.
I was panicked when she walked in, but then it was like this great calm came over me, and I knew right away that she was bluffing, so I bluffed right back.
I am very proud of you.
I kept thinking, why couldn't I be this good in my poker playing days?
You start gambling again, sweetheart, they're going to be 2 dead Briggs brothers.
Dina, I major league rolled the dice when I went in the water after Jeff. All that's out of my system. I swear it. I don't have to do it anymore.
Consuela. Well, you know, I really liked the man you were before, but I think I'm going to love this man you're turning into. Consuela!
Yes.
Are you expecting someone?
No.
Hi. We'd like to see Mr. and Mrs. Briggs, please.
Yes, come in.
Thank you.
This will not happen again, Lieutenant. We have consulted our lawyers, and they assure us we already have enough to sue you and the Los Angeles Police Department for malicious prosecution.
This is the last time we'll bother you, I promise.
We have just a few questions to ask. We're out of your hair for good. You have my word. You happen to have any coffee already made?
No. You're not our guest, and this isn't a social call, is it?
Okay, I'm trying to cut back anyway.
Earlier today, my dad and I had a talk with Jeff's secretary, Terry Deegan.
I don't know what she told you, but I wouldn't put too much stock in the stories of a secretary I had to fire a few days ago.
Oh, yeah, especially if they were uncorroborated. But she did have one thing she said she could corroborate.
Miss Deegan said she got a frantic call from one of Jeff's clients the morning he died. The client demanded to speak with Jeff, something about a change of concert dates.
Oh, that was Asia. This is no big surprise. She called Jeff 10 times a day screaming about one thing or another.
Of course, she didn't speak to Jeff. He wasn't there. But she demanded to have his car phone number, which Miss Deegan explained was unlisted. He never gave it to anyone. But after about a 5-minute tirade, she finally capitulated and gave her the number.
Again, that doesn't surprise me.
What should surprise you, Mrs. Briggs, is that when Asia called the car phone number, she spoke with Jeff.
I don't understand.
Well, that's where we have a slight problem. The call came in at 11 a.m., which is a full hour after the time frame set by the autopsy for Jeff's death. So Asia couldn't possibly have talked to Jeff. I think she talked to you, Jim.
Which put you in Jeff's car 2 days before you said you picked it up. You were driving Jeff's car within an hour of the time he was murdered.
This is ludicrous. There are a lot of other possibilities here.
Such as?
Oh, off the top of my head, Jeff's body had been in the water for 2 full days. I don't think anyone would believe that an autopsy could be that precise. I mean, maybe he did die before 10 a.m., but maybe it was 11:15 after the phone call, or 12 o'clock. Nobody could possibly know for sure.
Even if Jeff did die before 10 a.m., that phone call doesn't prove that I spoke to Asia. It just proves that someone spoke to Asia.
You know, there's a very good reason you're having a hard time pinning Jeff's death on Jim. And that's because he didn't do it. Now, I would appreciate it if you kept your word and never bothered us again.
You know, Jim, you worked at the hospital for 6 years. We talked all the time. You taught me magic tricks. I thought you were a decent kind of a guy. Guess that proves I'm not as good a judge of character as I thought. Oh, Amanda told me she gave it back to you, the amulet.
Yes, with the effects.
You know, that amulet must have some kind of magical power.
No, Dr. Sloan, it's just an ordinary piece of metal on a chain.
Then how do you explain the photographs?
Photographs?
The autopsy photos of Jet. The morning you brought him in from the water, he was wearing that amulet.
Yeah, I think we all know that, Mark.
Well, there's where the magic comes in. If you didn't murder Jeff that morning, how do you explain the fact that that amulet suddenly appeared around the neck of a dead man?
Dina.
Oh, my God.
You're the only one who could have put it there, Jim.
I'm sorry.
James Briggs, he had his right to remain silent.
Lieutenant, can I say goodbye to my wife first? Dina, the last few days they've been wonderful. I wouldn't trade them for anything in the world. I love you.
I love you.
We had so many clues. The direction of the current, the surfer's knots, the fingerprints.
The parking lot tickets, the phone call to the car.
And all we needed was that amulet. And it was staring us right in the face the whole time. I don't know how we missed it. We're some team.
The Three Stooges.
Yeah, don't say that.
And if he hadn't put that amulet back on.
Oh, old habits die hard.
Sure do.
Speaking of which, I had some time off, and the surf report said there's a big swell coming up. I'm going to grab my wetsuit and my board and catch some waves.
Listen, be careful out there. You know the currents are running
south to north.
Right.
Right.
Take care of those surface knots.
You want to see something?
Yeah.
What's this?
Hey, you got it! The miser's dream!
Is that slick? What's this?
Good. Oh, you don't got it.
Well, I'll pat it.
Just forget it. Just relax.
Well, yeah. See, I get all...
Come on.
Excuse me,
Excuse us.
got a silver dollar under there. You get it? Okay, they're hard to come by. That's the real thing.
Yeah, all right, try
Okay,
again.
you ready? Can you believe that?
Get set for Late Show Laughs with Dave and the world's largest pumpkin, plus paintball escapades, Meryl Streep, and Natalie Merchant. But first, your local news.
I'm okay.
I'm Maureen Green. Coming up next on Eyewitness News 5, a major layoff announced at New Venture Gear. We'll tell you whether this is a sign of the times.
DeWitt residents weigh in on whether the lights can stay on the Eastwood Bears football field. Those stories plus Jim Barrick's precision forecast.
Eyewitness News 5 is next.
Roger, you agreed to go to this museum dinner with me 3 weeks ago.
That was before Tom Wheelock.
And you have to meet with him tonight in Laguna Beach. He can't come here.
When a man offers to buy your company and he's talking in the neighborhood of $75 million, you go to him.
You always do this to me.
Lana, if you want me to continue to prop up that decorating...
Why do I even bother to talk to you?
Cut me some slack.
Fine, go. When will you be home?
In the morning. Well, I am going to stay there until I close the deal. And if it takes till 3 o'clock in the morning, then that's what it is.
I can remember when you drive hours, any time of the night, just to sleep in the same bed with me.
And I can remember when you used to come with me on these business trips and wait for me in the hotel room. So if you'll excuse me, I have some business to attend to.
So do I. Somebody walks in this room up there, those feet.
I don't care. God, you are so beautiful.
I have to do it tonight.
Baby.
He's staying over at the St. Regent's Hotel in Laguna Beach.
Don't talk.
Jake, we agreed to kill him. Tonight's the night. We want to be together. It's the only way.
What's the rush?
Well, he's gone all the time. These little weekend trips. I think he's having an affair.
We care.
If he leaves me for someone else, he'll take his bank account with him. Jake, tonight.
All right. Where's the St. Regent?
It's right opposite the Coast Highway. You can't miss it. I'll write it down for you. Make it look like a robbery.
I know.
I'll stay late at the museum. I'll make sure lots of people see you, and then I'll meet you here tomorrow to pick up the rug for my client, Mark Sloan. I promised I'd bring it by the hospital tomorrow, and we have to make it look like business as usual.
You sure that's what you want?
Don't lose your nerve now, Jake. We don't have any other options.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Still, I'm gonna miss you.
I can't believe you let Lana Anderson talk you into renovating your office.
She didn't talk me into anything. I wanted a little change myself.
Oh, you trying it, kid. You don't like to change anything, ever. So how did she do it, huh? Did she tell you that her business was floundering?
Well, she's having a little bit of a slump right now.
Okay.
Hey, easy with that. That's very, very fragile.
Okay. So what time is she going to get here?
She was picking up the rug sometime this morning. She'll be here about an hour.
That's my allergies, Lee. It's the dust in this shop. The rug's right back here.
Something wrong, Jay?
No, you didn't see Lana this morning, did you, when you guys came this morning?
No. Nobody was here. I mean, you were late. The door was unlocked, so we came on in.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the rug was here waiting for us. We packed it up and put it in the truck. Is there a problem?
No, I just don't know where Lana is.
Well, I just hope I can remember where everything goes.
Yeah.
Dr. Mark Sloan?
Yeah, that's me.
I have a rug from Lana Andrews.
Oh, that's the Oberson. Lana said it's a great rug.
You're putting an Oberson in your office with all this, with all your stuff?
Well, I mean, it's beige. It ought to match everything. Where's Lana?
I thought she was here with you.
No, I haven't seen her since yesterday.
Well, if you want me to take the rug back, I could come back at a better time.
No, all the stuff's out of the office. Let's look at it now.
All right.
That's it?
Lana says this rug is Fabu.
Fabu?
Designers live in a whole other world.
Notice anything out of the ordinary when you picked up the rug this morning?
No, nothing. The rug was already rolled up and on the truck.
And the last time you saw Lana?
It was last night about 6 o'clock when I left the shop. She was finishing up some invoices, and then she said something about going to a museum, a dinner, I think.
So the shop was closed for the evening?
She hadn't closed up yet. And the movers said that they found the door open. I just wonder if she got to the museum last night.
You have any idea who might have had a motive to kill her? Mr. Myers, if you think you know something, you need to tell me.
It's not my place, but have you talked to her husband? Look, it's no secret that her and her husband were having some problems. She told me a couple weeks ago that if he ever tried to leave her, she'd take him for everything that he was worth.
She confided this to you?
I heard her talking on the phone to someone. Now, I don't know who, but she said that he was planning to sell his company and that she was going to bleed him dry. Now, those are her exact words.
You mean were we having problems? Is that what she told him? Well, I'll admit it. We were going through a rough patch in our marriage. I mean, we were arguing like any other long-term married couple, but we were working our way through it. At least I thought we were. Why are you asking me this? I was told she was killed during a robbery.
Well, the cash drawer was rifled, but according to Mr. Myers, less than $100 was taken.
Well, she never kept much petty cash at the shop. No, it's probably some druggie looking for money.
Or someone trying to make it look like a robbery.
Why would somebody do that?
Mr. Andrews, I have to ask you, where were you last night?
I was with Tom Wheelock and his partners. His company is buying up several medium-sized software companies, and they made an offer on mine. I knew the negotiations were going to last into the night, so I made arrangements to stay over in Laguna. There were witnesses. I have receipts. Maybe. Yesterday, Lana and I argued about my staying over, and maybe if I'd come home.
Roger? You all right?
Honey, we can't see each other for a while.
Why? You didn't have anything to do with this, did you, Roger?
Of course not. No, my wife was a vain and shallow woman, and I may not have loved her anymore, but no, I never wished her dead.
Well, then why can't we see each other?
Appearances. I mean, if people knew that we were together, they might jump to the wrong conclusion. Why risk that? It'll just be for a little while, I promise.
I guess I understand. I'm gonna miss you. It's gonna be hard.
Yes, it is.
Glenn Andrews was bludgeoned to death with some sort of a heavy object. Preliminary findings put the time of death between 6 p.m. and 3 a.m.
Any guess on a weapon?
Oh, more than a guess. I found tiny ceramic particles in her hair.
Statue, maybe, or a vase.
I think so, and given the severity and the angle of the blow, I'd say the killer was very strong and probably a male.
That narrows it down to about 500,000 people.
Was there any broken pieces of ceramic on the floor?
My guys have been over every inch of that shop. Anything large enough for a fingerprint they would have found. But we can go over it again.
Here's the inventory list we did a month ago. There's nothing missing unless it was something new she brought in, never told me about.
Did Lana show you everything she bought?
Pretty much. She loved her work, although she never got much support for it at home.
How long have you worked for her?
4 months, maybe 5. Needed someone to come in and do heavy lifting, supervise the movers. Be amazed how many workmen take advantage of a woman.
Lieutenant, we found this in a dumpster 2 blocks away.
I think we just found our murder weapon.
Wait a second. I think you guys might want to see something. It's a photograph. Yeah, there it is.
Well, if you had the police call me down here so you could give me your condolences.
No, I'm afraid there's a little bit more to it than that.
Mr. Andrews, thank you for coming down. We found the vase that was used to murder your wife.
Was it? Did you find fingerprints? Do you know who killed her?
We also found this photograph. You recognize it?
Of course, it's my living room. Lana redecorated it about 6 months ago. She was hoping to use it as a showcase. It was not to my taste. I remember a friend of mine saying that once a woman is convinced she can't remake a man, she spends the rest of her time remaking everything around him. It made Lana happy. I just wish I'd done a lot more to make her happy.
Take a look at that vase on the shelf in the corner.
Well, I remember it. Lana said it was pre-Columbian.
When's the last time you saw it?
Well, I don't know. I'm pretty oblivious to things like this. I imagine it's still on the shelf in the living room.
We searched the house. It's not there.
Wait a minute. You don't suspect that I had anything to do with this? Oh, now this is preposterous. I would never do anything to hurt Lana. Besides, I was in Laguna. People saw me.
The reservation clerk remembers checking you in. The bellboy remembers you, but the room service waiter seems to remember someone else with you. What do you think? And I guess you go talk to the girlfriend.
Roger's business people were staying in the hotel, so we couldn't go to the dining room. But it was a beautiful suite, and we ordered in room service. I had the seared scallops with bone marrow, a truffle, and herb salad. Am I telling you more than you need to know? I've never been questioned in a murder case before, and I guess I'm a little nervous.
Did you go anywhere after dinner?
Just a bit.
Well, actually, we went to bed before dinner and never left. And then we had the food served into the bedroom, and we resumed. Because Roger has a lot of stamina for a man his age. There I go again. I'm so sorry. It's his character flaw. I have compulsive disclosure. I don't know how not to tell everything that I know.
All I need to know is that Roger was with you the entire evening.
We were together all night. I scarcely got a wink of sleep.
Well, thank you for your time, Ms. Masterson. Any other questions?
Lieutenant? You don't think that Roger had anything to do with his wife's murder, do you?
I'm afraid I can't answer that.
Well, good luck with the investigation. You can come out now. We pulled it off.
So, when do we start phase 2?
Oh, patience is a virtue, sweetheart. And don't you worry. We'll get there.
When do we hit him up for all the money?
Soon. To the perfect murder.
Okay, soon. But when?
You know what I would have loved to have seen? Your face when you walked in the shop and saw that Lana's body was missing.
And when she rolled out onto the floor of that doctor's office, I about had a heart attack. Do you want to explain to me why you made me go through all that?
Oh, baby, I love you, but you are a terrible liar. This way, in the presence of impeccable witnesses, you about had a heart attack, after which I don't think anyone's ever going to suspect that you had anything to do with it.
You think of everything.
Yes, I do.
So, how soon do we take his money and go to Europe?
Patience. We have a long, rich life ahead of us. The only thing that could go wrong now is if anyone ever connected us. So I think it's time for us to cool it for a few months.
Kendra?
Jake, don't start. We've talked about this. If we're going to be safe, we have to be smart.
Okay. But I don't have to go right now, do I?
I think we have an hour or two grace period. Well, that certainly ruins a wonderfully romantic moment. I'm gonna take a hot bath.
Just hope I'm not allergic to Italy.
So somebody took the ceramic vase from Roger's place, brought it to Lana's shop, and killed her with it.
Somebody who?
Husband's the most logical suspect. There was trouble in their marriage.
But he has a very good alibi.
It's pretty solid.
What about the assistant?
There's no evidence that Jake was ever at Lana's house. I don't think he took it from the house to the shop.
Well, Lana could have taken it to the shop herself, to show a client, and Jake could have picked it up and hit her with it.
He didn't have any motive.
You know, I looked at Jake when Lana rolled out of that rug, and if he was not as shocked as I was, he's some good actor.
What about the girlfriend? She could have wanted the wife dead.
If she and Roger were in it together, they could have been covering for one another.
Well, nobody saw either of them leave the hotel that night. But there might be a record of the car's activities. I'll call you this afternoon. Help yourself.
You know, dessert comes with this. You want to split it?
Absolutely. Roger?
Kendra, what are you doing here?
I came round by the back, but nobody saw me. A police detective came to see me today.
What did you tell him?
The truth. I hope that's okay.
No, absolutely. Good, good. Honey, I'm sorry. I didn't want to drag you into all of this.
I love you. Whatever trouble you're in, I'm there with you. Actually, it's just as well that the police know about us. Roger, I have to talk to you.
About what?
I didn't want to have to talk to you about this.
What?
I'm in trouble. And I need money.
Well, if that's all it is, don't worry. What do you need?
It's my brother.
No, it doesn't matter what it's for. I'll write you a check.
No, Roger, listen to me. You might not want to help me.
Of course I will.
Remember when I told you that my brother was in a sanitarium?
Vaguely.
Well, he's autistic. And he'll never be able to function on his own. And I want him to be in a place where they treat him well and with dignity.
Of course.
Well, I've got him in this really nice place, but it's on a temporary basis. And I was hoping to make it permanent, but what small inheritance I have, I've already gone through, so if I can't come up with a full payment, they're threatening to put him out on the street.
I'll call him.
You can't. I'm his guardian, and I'm the only one they'll talk to.
How much do you need?
About 500.
500,000.
They want the payment in full.
$500,000. You expect me to write you a check for $500,000?
No, I don't expect you to do anything. This isn't your problem. I know that. It's mine. It's just... But I didn't have anyone else to turn to. And you said that we were getting married. You would have lost more in the divorce.
This will be the end of it? You don't have any other relatives out there in dire financial straits?
I don't have any other relatives. Just the two of you in my life. My brother.
Can we go for a ride today? I can check myself out.
Not today.
But you promised.
I said not today. Another time. I'll take over. Thanks. Now look at you. How you feeling? Oh, you're so handsome. We got him, Daddy. Just like I said we would. We got him.
Dad? Oh, Steve, you remember where this kite was?
Dad, does it matter? How about right there?
No, I'd like it back where it was. It took me years to get this off of just the way I wanted it. You know, the Chinese have a science about where things should be placed in a room according to a very specific plan.
Dad, there's a difference between feng shui and clutter. But how about right there?
Any luck at the hotel?
No, the parking there is self-service. There's no way to tell if Roger left again the night of the murder. But on a hunch, I checked his credit card charges.
Find something?
He gassed up his car right off the freeway in Long Beach, exactly halfway between Laguna and Santa Monica. 1:38 a.m.
What'd Roger say?
I was just going to go ask him. You want to come?
Yeah, I'd like to talk to him. The bookcase. That's where it was, on top of the bookcase. That's it. Now where do these go?
I never left the hotel. Kendra told you.
Then how do you explain the gasoline charges?
I don't know. Maybe the parking attendant went out joyriding.
There was no attendant. It was a self-parked garage.
I don't know. This is a nightmare. Listen, I have nothing to hide in the car here. If you don't believe me, check it yourself. And before you ask, no, I have not had it detailed since I came back from Laguna.
Maybe you should have.
I was with Kendra all night. Ask her.
I knew you'd find out, and I told him. And I never should have lied.
What time did he leave the hotel?
It was right after the meetings. And he told me to get into the bed, order room service, and when they got there, to pretend that he was in the bathroom.
When did he get back?
It must have been about 2:15, 2:30. When he came back, he was strange and excited.
Did he tell you where he'd been?
He wouldn't talk about it. said he asked me to marry him. And when I asked him about Lana, he said that we wouldn't have to worry about her anymore. I'm so sorry that I lied about that. Am I going to go to jail?
I'll need to get your full and complete statement.
Of course.
And I'll have to ask you not to leave town.
I won't.
Late. Where have you been?
I've been doing the same thing you're doing. Pounding a few nails into a coffin. Don't worry about it, Jake. So how's it going?
Slow. What do you call these little Egyptian things?
Oh, it's called a sarcophagus.
All right, well, as soon as I get this sarcophagus shipped, I am officially out of here. And I'll be very happy to get away from all this dust.
The police arrested Roger today for the murder of his wife.
What, already?
What can I tell you? They're good.
So how are we supposed to get the money now?
I already have it.
You did. You got it.
Mm-hmm.
How much?
500,000.
$500,000?
Mm-hmm. Certified cashier's check. I've already deposited it.
We did it. We did it. We did it. We did it. Hey, what do you say we follow this guy to Cairo? I always want to see those pyramid things.
Sounds like fun. Send me a postcard.
Kendra, what?
Bye, Jake. Have a nice trip.
On advice of counsel, all he's willing to say is that he's innocent.
Original, I'll have the chicken finger Caesar salad. No?
Well, we got him, though. We can match the shard of ceramic we found in his car to the murder weapon. We can prove that the ceramic vase was in his house days before the murder. And the gasoline charge will prove that he was in his car halfway between Laguna and Santa Monica at 1:38 a.m.
Order up.
Yeah, I heard you.
What happened to all your help?
Alex has finals and Jesse's on call.
You know there are establishments who actually hire people to do the work?
Then we'd have no profits at all.
So what's wrong with the chicken finger Caesar salad?
The chicken is breaded and fried. It's not very healthy for you.
Healthy isn't necessarily what I'm thinking about when I walk into a barbecue restaurant. Southwest Cobb salad?
Did you see this?
Yeah, that's the posting for the gasoline Roger bought the night of the murder.
Do you think that's a little odd?
Order up.
Coming.
What?
He bought regular gasoline.
So maybe he was frugal.
He drives a Jaguar.
Order up.
I'll get it.
Well, I don't think a man of Roger's means would risk buying regular gasoline for a high-performance engine like a Jaguar.
Yeah, but he's the only one that had motive, means, and opportunity.
Can the service station attendant identify him?
Not exactly. He remembers it was a man driving the car, he thinks.
Well, could it have been the girlfriend wearing a cap trying to look like a man?
Kendra Masterson would never look like a man, believe me.
He's right about that.
Besides, I checked the hotel records. At 1:45, Kendra called room service and ordered ice cream. Now, the room service waiter definitely remembers that she was there when he delivered the ice cream at 2 o'clock. She appeared, however, to have been alone.
Roger wasn't there?
Well, he could have been in the bathroom, and that's what she told the waiter, but everything points to Roger.
If Roger was there, she could have had an accomplice and found a way to slip him the car keys and the credit card.
It's not impossible.
Does Roger know she's going to testify against him?
I'll kill her.
Mr. Andrews.
I'll kill her. I give her $500,000 and she signs a statement saying I killed my wife? I will kill her.
You gave her $500,000?
Get her in here. I will choke the truth out of her.
Mr. Andrews, I think it'd be better if you didn't use words like "I'll kill her."
You think I won't? I'm about to be tried and executed for something I did not do. I did not leave that hotel room. I didn't kill my wife.
Was Kendra in that room all night? She didn't leave for a couple of hours?
No, she didn't, and I won't say she did just to put the blame on her.
May I ask why you gave her the $500,000?
$500,000? Roger Andrews, out of the goodness of his heart, gave me $500,000?
That's what he said.
And you believed him? I mean, do you know anything about multimillionaire Roger Andrews, about the charity in his heart?
You said it was for your brother. You told me it was to pay for his care in a mental hospital.
I don't even have a brother, much less one in a loony bin.
Well, it'd be easy to check something like that out.
Well, you can check all you want. You can't find a brother I don't have.
Thank you. No, I meant the money. The bank will have a record of that.
Unless it was a cashier's check.
Even so, for such a large amount. What did you do? Put it in your own checking account?
He told me it was an early wedding present. Did you know that he'd asked me to marry him?
Well, I'm not surprised. You're a very beautiful young lady. And of course I believe you. It was a wedding present. Trouble is, I'm afraid a jury might see that as a bribe.
For what? I mean, to lie? You think I'd lie for him?
You did, at first.
Yeah, but that was different. That wasn't exactly lying. I thought that he was innocent then. I mean, afterwards... Look, Dr. Sloan, I was deeply in love with Roger. He promised he was going to divorce his wife from me. But his inner demons obviously got the better of him, and he killed her instead. I mean, this whole thing has been a nightmare for me.
Why didn't you tell the police about the money?
Because I was scared that they'd think what you thought, that it was a bribe, and that I'd be some accessory after the fact. Isn't that what they call it?
That's what the law calls it.
I was scared they'd take the money away from me. I was going to leave Los Angeles, leave these memories, and start over fresh someplace else where no one knows anything about this. And I know it was selfish.
But understandable.
I have the money. It's in a safe place. But until someone tells me I have to give it back, I'm not telling anyone where it is.
Well, excuse me.
Oh, bless you.
Oh, these darn allergies. This time of year, they're just murder. What do you take for yours?
Oh, I don't have any allergies.
Oh, I thought that inhaler on the table was yours.
Oh, that's a friend of mine's. She must have left it when she was here last week.
Will this take long? I need to get back home in time for my stories.
You have stories?
The Bold and the Beautiful, Young and the Restless?
Soap operas.
Uh-huh, that's right.
No, this shouldn't take long at all. I understand that Jake Myers is one of your tenants.
Oh, Jake's such a nice boy, don't you think? I've always taken a special interest in Jake.
Why is that?
Well, for one thing, he's dreamy, and he reminds me of Thorne.
Thorne?
On my stories, the minute I laid eyes on him, I thought he is the spitting image of Thorne. Of course, Thorne's leaving his wife, causing her to turn to drink.
You don't think Jake is anything like that?
Oh, of course not. Jake's a hunk, but he has a heart. He always carries my groceries in from the car for me, even when he's wheezing. You know he has allergies.
No, I didn't.
Poor thing. I can't even imagine the boxes of tissues he must go through.
Have you seen him around in the last few days?
You know, come to think of it, I don't think so. Oh, maybe he's gone for a long weekend with that flashy little number of his.
That would be his girlfriend?
If you ask me, she's all show. Big toothy grin. I'll never understand why these girls insist on wearing these skimpy little black dresses displaying far too much of you-know-what to the world. Not like his other one.
The other one?
Jake's other lady friend? Now she's all style and good taste. Older, but with a darling figure for a woman nearing that certain age.
You know this woman?
Yes, of course, that's the one. See what I mean by style and good taste? She must have been by, 5 or 6 times over the last month or so. I'll never forget the day the two of them missed each other by about a minute and a half. I'm sure if the two of them had met, there would have been a terrible catfight like the one between Macy and Brooke about a couple of months ago on...
Your story.
That's right. Of course, Macy's dead now.
Unfortunately, we couldn't find the $500,000. Or Jake Myers.
So Kendra didn't deposit the money into the bank.
She said she put it in a safe place. I think she gave it to Jake.
So you're thinking that Kendra and Jake killed Lana?
It framed Roger, yeah.
But why? If Kendra wanted that money, she could have stayed with Roger.
But not if she wanted to run away with Jake.
Still, why kill Lana and frame Roger? It seems to me they'd have a pretty tough time getting their hands on that money if he were sitting in jail.
Yeah, that's where I think she was very, very clever. She obviously got that money from him before he was arrested, intimating that maybe she wouldn't back up his story unless he paid her off. Then, when she got the money, she made it look like he was bribing her.
How do people come up with these schemes?
Dr. Sloan? Yes, Steve?
Dad, I got a warrant to search Kendra's apartment. I'll swing by and pick you up, all right?
Right.
Police, this is Lieutenant Steve Sloan with the LAPD.
Why don't you yell a little louder? There may be one or two of my neighbors who didn't hear you.
I have a warrant to search your apartment.
For what?
For an allergy inhalant and anything that might connect you with Jake Myers.
Who?
Where is he?
I'm sorry, I don't know Jake Myers.
His landlady described you as his girlfriend.
Where's the money? Jake have it?
You know, I was just on my way out to see friends. But unless you're willing to handcuff me and risk a lawsuit for false arrest, I'm leaving.
Where's the money, Kendra?
Oh, don't forget to lock up on your way out.
Lieutenant? Jag keys. Looks like a duplicate.
I can put Jake Myers in Roger's car. We've got him.
The body was badly burned, features unrecognizable, no fingerprints. But the woman who drove her car off of Mulholland was definitely Kendra Masterson.
Are you positive?
Yes, we had to go to dental records to make a match, but we did find when it was her.
Well, then this doesn't make any sense at all.
Nothing about this case makes any sense.
Why would a woman commit a cold-blooded murder and then panic and commit suicide?
She knew we were onto her?
We had nothing definitive, and she knew that.
I suppose we can rule out sudden feelings of remorse.
Seems unlikely, but it could have been an accident.
Pretty coincidental.
Sloan here. Uh-huh. All right, thanks. There's a missing persons report filed last night on Kendra Masterson. You never guess who filed it.
Jake Myers.
Not even close.
I'm sorry, where were we?
You were telling us that Kendra Masterson was a patient here?
Yes, she came to us about 18 months ago.
You know, there must be two women with the same name. The Kendra we knew had her own apartment. We talked with her there several times the last few weeks.
She could come and go as she pleased. This is a private facility. Most of our clients are voluntary. Kendra had psychological problems.
May I ask what kind?
May I ask if you have a court order? At any rate, she preferred to work on her problems with our professionals here, but she was absolutely free to leave at any time as long as she signed herself out.
Which she did last Friday.
No, she didn't. That's why I was worried. She simply disappeared. I thought she'd be back by morning, and when she wasn't, I called the police. Unfortunately, I was too late. Thank you. This is Kendra's personal file. I can't give you her medical records, but I don't see any harm in giving you her personal items. It's her story she wrote, some watercolors. This is a picture of her on Visitor's Day.
Who's that with her?
That's Keith Scott and his daughter Beverly. He's a patient here, a stroke victim. Kendra took a liking to the Scotts. She really looked forward to Beverly's visits.
Hey, Sloan. I left a message on your desk, a police captain in Cairo.
Cairo?
Egypt. Some museum opened up a crate, came upon a body. Body turned out to be one Jake Myers.
Jake?
Thought you'd be interested in it.
My attorney tells me you think I'm innocent.
I do.
Well, then what am I still doing here?
The DA still thinks you're his man.
How does something like this happen? I am completely innocent.
I'll call the Cairo police tomorrow. Maybe there's some clue on Jake.
So you're saying that she killed Jake and shipped him to Egypt?
To keep him from talking, probably. My guess is she didn't think the Egyptian authorities would be able to identify him.
She kills two people, and then she kills herself.
Did you know that she'd been under psychiatric care for some time?
No.
The head nurse at the sanitarium identified her. This was in her file.
That's Keith Scott.
You know him?
I don't believe this.
Talk to me, Roger.
I guess it turns out that I got what I deserved after all. I had business dealings with Keith Scott.
Want to be a little more specific?
I destroyed his business. He had a stroke. I lost track of what happened to him after that.
When we were here this morning, you identified a woman in this picture as Kendra Masterson.
Yes, that's right.
Now, that young woman right there, that's Kendra Masterson.
No, that's Beverly Scott. I told you her father's a patient here. This is Kendra.
Does Beverly come to visit her father on a regular basis?
She did until recently. She gives a cashier's check for his lifetime care.
A check? For how much?
Nearly $300,000. And then she left the country.
When?
Well, it was shortly after Kendra's terrible accident, but she calls.
Oh, en otro café, por favor.
Sí, señorita. Sí.
Yes, hi, this is Beverly Scott. I'm calling for my father, please.
Miss Scott, thank God you've called. But we've been trying to get a hold of you.
Is my father all right?
I'm afraid he's had some trouble.
Well, what happened?
It's pneumonia. I'm sorry, but the doctors say it's very serious.
My God, I'm out of the country. I'm gonna try and get a flight out tonight. Please tell him I will be there as soon as I can.
I'll tell him. I know he wants to see you.
Thank you. Hello, Daddy.
Ciao, Beverly. That's your name, isn't it, Beverly Scott?
So my father's not dying?
No. No, your father's doing fine. I hated to worry you, but I didn't know how else to get you back in the country. What'd you do to your wrist?
Roger Andrews destroyed my father.
No excuse for murder.
You can't prove anything.
You left your fingerprints all over Kendra Masterson's apartment.
So I borrowed an apartment from a woman that I met at my father's hospital. She gave me permission. It's no big deal.
Now she's dead, too. Did you hurt your wrist jumping out of the car the last minute before you sent Kendra over the edge to her death?
I'm going to see my father now.
You know, the museum in Cairo was a little unhappy when they unpacked that sarcophagus and found Jake's body in there. You know, it's an interesting thing. You know those rubber aprons they wear when they're working around a lot of dust? It turns out that rubber retains a fingerprint very, very well. In fact, the Egyptian authorities lifted a partial fingerprint off that apron, and it matches yours.
You're bluffing.
Beverly Scott, you're under arrest for the murders of Lana Andrews, Dick Myers, and Kendra Masterson. I'm going to read you your rights.
I want to see my father. Daddy, I
am so sorry. I'm not going to be able to see you for a while. But I love you. I love you very much.
So you sure this is the way it was, huh?
Yeah, maybe better. Got this one painting here left to hang.
Mom gave you that, didn't she?
Oh, yeah, before you were born. A lot of people thought it was kind of corny, but it means something to me. You know what? All this stuff should be over there. That's it. Steve? Well, I didn't mean right now. This is over there.
Tonight, Dave really gets things cooking with Martha Stewart. Plus, a debate top 10, director Spike Lee, and know your current events. But first, your local news.
Violence escalates in the Middle East. An American warship is attacked. And Israel bombs the Palestinians. We'll have the latest and tell you why. Plus, state officials give a Utica nursing home its worst possible rating. Those stories plus Mets playoff highlights in Jim Barrick's Precision Forecast.